Hello everyone, it's Keren here from tuppencecolored.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me. This is the project that I'm going to be making today. It's a Union flag heart card. So stay with me and I will show you how I made it. Ahead of time, I took two 9-inch pieces of real red DSP from the DSP stack and I cut it to 1.5 inches deep, and I've scored and folded 3/4 of an inch and then an inch on the other side and then 3/4 of an inch and an inch, so that I make a pleat. And I've gone ahead and I have put those pleats in because what I want to show you now is how I collapsed and folded the final rosette, because I made a video recently and I had technical difficulties at the point where I was demonstrating this and it didn't actually get into the video, and a few people have said to me, can you show me how you actually did the pleating into the rosette. Now the one that I actually made was a slightly different size to this one, so I'll do it twice. Okay, so this is the one that's going to go on to the front of my card, and this is a larger. So what I've done, I've tweaked just the corner of those pleats so that they've got a little bit of a bend to them, particularly on this one because this is where I joined the card together, and I'm just training it. I'm just showing it the way I want it to go. What I'm actually doing is I'm stretching the fibres in that part of the paper. Right, so as you can see, it already wants to collapse, and this is the slightly fiddly bit, because I now want those bits that I was just tweaking to sort of stand up. I'm not sure how well you can see that because my ruddy great hands get in the way. So that I've got a series of little peaks there. It's just trying to show you how it's looking. Right, so they are pointing up, just like that. Right, they're pointing up into the air. They're not sitting down on anything. Now I'm going to and I've punched out, this is, I think it's 1 3/4 circle, and this isn't going to show, this is all going to be covered up. So I'm just putting a fair old bit of glue around the edge, and I'm going to come back in with my rosette, and I'm just going to stick that onto the card. Now you can try an instant grab adhesive like snail. I probably wouldn't use fast fuse because once you stick something down with fast fuse, it is stuck. Believe me, it is stuck. Okay, and I'm just pulling up the fins and just arranging things as evenly as I can get them. And I think I'm a bit off centre here. Yeah. Just try and, yes, you've got that. This edge is too far over. And this is the fiddly bit. And I'm also trying to do it without getting my head in the way. So it just takes a little bit of patience. Okay. Just trying to arrange this so that it keeps, it's gone a little bit oval, you see, so it keeps to a circular shape. And when I am reasonably satisfied with that, I'm just going to push down all of those pleats and just keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing. Right, now this is the size of rosette that I used on the front of the treat bag I made recently, and again it's the same thing. So I've pre-folded where I've gone ahead and scored and creased, and I'm just twiddling my corners, for want of a better word. And this one will go together slightly differently because the radius is smaller. So I'm just trying it out, and I'm just pointing those pleats up in the air, and that's where it's joined and it's coming apart, because I put this one together, I think, with a bit of snail, and my husband was between, my husband was watching TV and he was between me and the glue at the time, so you know, they were sport on, so didn't want to disturb him. Okay, so layer of glue onto my my backing card, and just push this down, keeping the little fins upright till it's all stuck. Now, because this one is shorter, because I was working with a 12-inch piece of paper rather than 2 9s stuck together, which was almost 18. You lose a bit when you do the overlap. That's the word. See, I'm trying to think and craft and talk all at the same time, and it's not working. And there it is. That is the smaller sized rosette, similar to the one that went on the front of my gift bag. Okay. So as you can see, I've stamped Happy Birthday in Versamark ink, and I've got gold embossing powder, and I've already, before I started, I did actually remember to go over it with my embossing buddy, which is a miracle in itself, I have to tell you, because that doesn't usually happen. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure that actually that the Y, the latter part of the Happy Birthday, hasn't picked up the embossing powder very well. That's better. I'm happier with that. So heat emboss it. Trying to keep my fingers out of the heat. Go. And it's okay. It's caught a little bit, but most of that is going to be covered up anyway. So that's got my message in the middle. Put that out of my way. Right, now I have done some paper cutting, and I have cut 3 squares of Whisper White that are 1 1/4 inches, and I've sliced one of them down the middle so that I've got 2 half squares, and I have 3 squares of Night of Navy that are 1 inch square, and I've cut a couple of strips of real red that are about 1/8 of an inch. And the way I did that was I lined up my piece of card with just over the cutting line on my paper trimmer. And to save myself a bit of time, I have put some sticky paper on the back. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to line up the 1 1/4 squares with the top corner there. So with my pencil marks. Okay. So now I have my, start of my flag, and turn it over, I've got my 3 pieces of Night of Navy, and I'm going to slice them down the middle. And these are going to sit, oops, let's get them right, like that. Now this last square, which I've now gone and put tape on the back of because somehow I forgot to do that, I'm going to cut each of these triangles in half to make 4 little ones. The last little bits are the little red stripes that go up through there. Now there is a right way and a wrong way for these, and if you do it the wrong way, the flag is flying upside down. So actually I'm giving myself a great deal of room on this side, but it's like that. There is a narrow bit of white between the blue and the red on the left hand upper corner, and it's that way on the upper right, because if it's not, the flag is flying upside down, and that is a sign of distress. Alright, I want to start layering up my card now. So I use my card blank. It's a piece of thick whisper white, which is 10 inches by 5 and folded at 5 inches to make a square card. And I've got another piece of my real red DSP stack. And before I go any further, I'm actually going to have a little bit of a think about which side I prefer and how I prefer it to go. So I've got my rosette. I actually made another one in the Night of Navy DSP. And I'll try that one on there, and with the flag on it, and I think that looks quite effective. If I like that. Okay, so let's try that and that and that on top of that, and I don't like that one quite so much, so I'm going to save those for another project, and I'm going to use this, and I'm going to stick that side down, and I'm going to have diagonal straps going that way. Right, okay, decisions. This is all done, you know, at the time. So which way? Oh, my stripes going from bottom left to top right, and I'm just, oh, and this is 4 3/4 of an inch square, by the way, so it's just a tiny bit smaller than my card to allow it to layer. Put wet glue on the back of this. Actually, that side's rather nice as well, isn't it? But we'll go with this one. So sort of centering that into the middle of my card, and I'm going to put my, oops, the dimensionals are fighting me now. I'm going to put my heart on here with dimensionals. I'm going to put the dimensionals down here to begin with, so that I know I'm hitting the right place on the card. Bits out and position the heart where I want it, push down, and that, I think, is pretty much it. So I chose to do the Union flag because, for one, it's the most complicated of the ideas that I had, and two, it's Her Majesty the Queen's 90th birthday recently, so in honour of that. But you could, you could vary it. You could do other flags, for example. You could do 4th of July, and this is that same paper on Whisper White, and I just cut it on the diagonal, so that instead of the stripes going across, they were going that way. And that's a bit of Night of Navy in the corner, and the stars are fallout from the Confetti Stars border punch. So that's one way of doing it. And this is the card. This is the card that started it all off. This is the one that I started doing, and it's based on the Welsh flag. Now, the Welsh flag, where that heart is, the Welsh flag has a whopping great dragon. Unfortunately, we don't have a dragon punch or a dragon stamp, so I improvised. And I will be adding some wording to it, and when I've finished it, I will show you. I'm going to put Cymru am byth on it, which is Welsh for Wales forever. And one last variation, which is in honour of a lady who always leaves me some comments, who is Audrey Shaw. And we had a nice little virtual chat when I did a live stream recently. She left me lots and lots of lovely comments. So Audrey, I know you're up in Scotland, so this one is for you. And there it is. That is it. Everything finished, and I do hope that you have enjoyed this project. And if so, I hope that you will give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, subscribe to my channel, visit my blog or my Facebook page. Details are underneath. But in any case, thank you very, very much for joining me, and I hope that I'm going to see you again soon. Bye-bye.